Flat Earth British, Martin Liedtke speaking. Welcome peeps, welcome back to the great Flat Earth British think tank. So good to see you guys, so good to see you. We're going to have a really cool vlog here today and loads of nectar. Nectar is the new juice for 2020 because we're not doing any more juice. We're going to do nectar, okay, which you're going to love. What we're going to look into, I found or had for the last couple of years. I've looked at it before, a couple of years ago, but not what we know now. Okay, and it's a book about genies and spirits. If you see the title on my vlog, Betwixt, or Genies and Spirits, Betwixt God and Men, this is what the book's about. And we're going to think of it in a philosophical context, guys, okay? As in, this might not be what's happening at all. Okay, as in this could be just more mediation, taking it away from us, being the true geniuses of our abilities. Okay, in my mind, I think a little bit differently. Okay, in my mind, reading this explains literally everything that I've experienced in this plane, in this realm. There's more in here with us than they tell us about. Okay, guys, and there's definitely more going on. Okay, in my experience in this realm, there's something here with us. We are not alone. Okay, guys? Guardian angels. In this book, which is an epic book, it says that all of us are going on early contemporaries, Aristotle, etc., that we are given this spirit, good or bad, okay, before we're born. Okay, whether they choose. I'm not quite sure. I'll have a look at that now. They watch you and guide you through your whole life, and they hear all of your thoughts. It gets to the end, and there's some sort of judgment that takes place. Okay, and they know everything. Your guardian angel or your genie. Okay, now there is a definite distinction between genies and demons in this book, okay guys, but we have to discern by the authors of said book. Now the guy who wrote this book is a psychic, but it's very Phoenician orientated book, but not in any Christian context, okay, which he basically gets a lot of crap for throughout the book, which he's always arguing a debate whether or not there are genies and spirits with us in here. Okay. Second book is another book from Antiquity. This one's from 1609, or I-609, and it's a voyage by Phoenicians out of Amsterdam, taking treasures, taking goods, looking for lands in the Arctic Ocean. They go to Nova Zembla, and they go further north where the waters or everything goes warmer, and they've gotten a lot of anomalies with the direction of the sun, which can be reconciled in their minds. I knew exactly what was going on. Greenland as well. We're going to think about Greenland as well, and 1,000 things besides. We got images of the day. Hope I'm not glitching. Okay, hope everything's tickety boo. Make sure to subscribe, guys. Make sure. I'm going to do a load of shouts for channels. There's so many channels I can't keep up. I do try. Most of channels in this field are linked on my resources page to my website, which is linked below this video, along with bookage and everything else, which we'll cover. Okay? Okay. Have fun. Get your happy hats on. Buckle in. Everything else. Right, let's have a little think about strange stuff, okay? Which is what we do on Flat Earth British, and these books are literally mind-blowing, honestly. Right, we're going to listen to some music at the end. I've managed to sort out my volume. It won't be echoey, it will be absolutely beautiful. Don't cry. Don't cry, though. Okay, the beauty of it all. Ow. No. No. So here's the book, okay, and it's the historical and philosophical and theological trustees of spirits, apparitions, witchcrafts, and other magical practices. Okay, by Dr. Becker, Will Bewitched. The Will Bewitched would be an excellent title for a book. what we got here for the evil genius picture is this guy in bearskins. So he's living off the land, and he's got like a skull cod piece. Okay. Yeah, the Phoenicians over here with the horn of life and a serpent going in the rock and a Cherubanuski with flowers. They're the good genie. They're the good genie. Is that a bit of like bad advertising? I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what that says really. Use going out into the moonshine to know their fortune. Now, this is in Middle English, guys, okay? So if I do make any mistakes, I haven't got time to edit or anything like that in my life. So just please go with it, okay? If you would. Because I've literally specific emails telling me of all my comments, but they never say anything about the good I do. And I'm aware, I'm famous for it. I've been doing it years, but, you know, it's me. You know, just have to go with it all the time. An account of genie or familiar spirit, both good and bad. See, I did it again because I was thinking about other stuff. That are said to attend men in this life, okay, and what sensible perceptions some persons have of them, particularly the author's own experiences for many years. Also, the appearances of spirits after death, okay, divine dreams. Okay, now there's a lot about dreams in this, which is brilliant because I'm very much into dreams. Divinations, second-sighted persons. Okay, well, I do get precog. You know, I literally dream the events of the next day and stuff. I think definitely remote viewing. Likewise, the power of witches and the reality and other magical operations clearly asserted with a reputation of Dr. Becker's World Bewitched. The authors, opposed to the belief as well, is a Dr. or a John Beaumont, excuse me. So there is some, you know, opposing to this guy's works. Okay, and it's for an earl, so it's for a highness. Okay. And we're going to start here. So it's an experience of what I would say is precog or projecting your mind into another place. So obviously I'm going to link the book. I'll read you a little bit. Okay. Here. So we start in chapter 1. Okay. This is basically a summary of what I just told you. Okay. That we are given a guardian angel by birth, and they don't miss a trick. So what the ancients understood of the genie that are said to attend men to be as their nature and offices. And chapter 2 is concerning the genie as described by Socrates, Aristotle, Plotinus, Ptheresias, Jamplachius, Cicerus, and Scaliger and Cardan. So in my last post, special announcement, I said that we were going to do a Tartarian Convention. One of the subjects is to dealing with, I won't be covering, but the author, which book I got here, Albino Gallipini, will be talking about the added 1,000 years. So it's in the vicinity of Scalinger's Castle, is this place where the convention is. So that's going to be really, really fucking interesting. What perception men had of genie and spirits and their operations by sight. What perceptions some persons have had of genies and spirits and their operations in sense of seeing. When they present at the same time they have seen nothing. Okay. Perceptions of other people do not see them, and sounds as well. What perception men have had of genie or spirits and their operations by sense of hearing. What perception some persons have had of genie and spirits and their operations and sense of hearing, and others' presence heard nothing. What perception of men, excuse me, and spirits and their own operations, senses of sorry, don't know what that is. What perception men have of genius operations by dreams, okay, by magical practices, or existence of operations of spirits, and then his conclusion. Okay, now just going back a little bit, there is a bit in the premise which talks about this. So some guys had basically have seen this. We read that Pentheus, that upon his greeting upon the tree and making himself spectator of the hidden sacrifices of Bacchus, he was struck with such kind of fury that all things seemed to him to be doubled. 2 suns and 2 Thebes presented themselves at his flight, so that when he hath in 2 Thebes, presently seeing another Thebes, he drew back, and thus he continued carrying fro. So he's basically witnessing, secretly spectating, hidden sacrifices of Bacchus, and then he sees 2 suns, trips out and sees 2 Thebes. I'm not sure if they're in 2 separate timelines. It's just absolutely insane stuff. So it goes into divine secrets, etc. So let's have a little look at chapter 1. Okay. What the ancients understood of the genie and said to attend men and their nature and offices. Having undertaken to write the tract concerning the genie that are said to attend men during this life, I think it is proper for me to first place and set forth what, according to the ancients, those genies were understood to be. So what were they? Okay, well, this gets interesting. Semphorinius tells us that the genies, or the genius, is good. Okay, under those tuition, each man is born and lives. So there is some tuition going on, and whether it be to take care of our generation, or engender with us, or take upon us our guardianship after we have begotten. So from the get-go, this is a bit like the Indian texts as well. You know, the Tibetan Book of the Dead is along exactly the same lines. He says he calls genius from geno, and the ancient Latin word signifying to beget, or in lieu of which word gignio is now used for genius, and said to be the son of Jupiter and the earth, and is said to hold the middle nature betwixt men and gods and men. So it's a mediator again, isn't it? I'm unsure, but from my experience, I'm going to go with this for a second. Or for that, some practices of the body, some have thought our genie to be symmetry of the elements which preserve human bodies and all living creatures. Others, the secret powers of celestial bodies, which has impelled us to do all things, the luminaries, by which they are impelled to do all things, and thus they are called upon a gurili, or giro, or ingigiro. That is the support that is supporting us. Okay, that sounds like jingiro. It is, and suggesting good or bad thoughts in our minds. So as I talked about before, they start with Bacchus, the guy trips out, sees 2 cities, the whole thing's Phoenician, and they're saying about bad thoughts in our minds maybe being put there by demons. So what the Latins called genius, the Greeks called them demon, which word, to pass as the other significations according to its etymology, signifies prudent, knowing, skillful in affairs, and foreseeing things, that given answers to those who have consulted them, in which sense Socrates thought famous men after death for their reward of their virtue. I think we should be very fucking careful down here. We were made demons of the middle nature, meditating betwixt gods and men. Ladivius says that That's a wonder we see how differing in opinions of these gentiles were concerning the gods and demons. So I can't actually see that very well. Apollonius thinks otherwise, and Plato and Plotinus and Apollonius, I'm probably saying all this wrong, differs from them both. So we have opposing views of what these things are. Some think them to be our own soul. So like I just said, is this a mediator to take us away from our own genius, our own who we are, the creators, or is there actual appointed spirits that mediate with us through the whole time? Some of our inclinations, some are certain light attend in us, some are intellectual agents concerning which shall be set down what I will find in several authors. So I'm going to tell you about that too. Okay. So they are either demons or they are either genies, according to this book. That makes a lot of sense. And therefore the good desire of mind is of God. When some think those are called blessed, because the S's are F's, blessed endemons, whose demon is good. That is, whole mind is perfect with virtue. Oof, we got some way to go. Wow. Which I think you may probably call a genius, because that God, which is called man's mind, thou'st is immortal, yet some thought is engendered within us, and there is some who, as it seems to me, would have the mind of man freed from his body, to be the second thought of demons. This I find in the ancient Latin tongue to be called the lemure. And these lemures who, taking care of their prosperity, keep the house as calm and quiet deity, is called familiar or family law. But he that by reason has Demetrius in life is punished by a wandering in the world, having no quiet seat, and becomes vain terror to good men, and offensive to evil, and commonly called lavara. But when it's uncertain that a lot has happened to the man, whether he is a la or a laba, he is called God. He is called the God means. Excuse me, I'm not sure. The word God being added to the honours fake. They called those gods who, among them, having justified prudently government, court in their lives, so some sort of judgment. So it's just going to go on and on. I'm not sure how much of this I can read. I will pass it to you. Just read a little bit more. The stuff to do with like magic and stuff and spirits later on in the book, like I say, it's 400 pages. It's absolutely mind-bending stuff. After deity of men admits to temples and sacred rites of in the Votia, whatever these are, in Egyptian, and Osiris, other elsewhere, and so far concerning those demons that had bodies. So some were on the earthly realm, and but these are another kind. These are more august demons, which, being always free from the fetters and ties of bodies, they are drawn to certain praise. From the thought of sublime demons, Plato thinks that man has been given himself a witness, or a guard, in passing this life, which is seen by no man, and always present as witness, not only for our actions, but even our thoughts. And that upon our return, at the end of our lives, he said that the genie presently carries us as their charge to judgment, where we stand as witness for a trial. Now, doesn't that make a whole shitload of sense to me? That does. Anyway, so it goes on. The argument, there's three sides to the coin in this as well, actually, if you ask me. It's just mind-blowing. So we're going to start with that. Knock yourself out. I'm going to read a bit more. I'm going to read some of the later chapters. Ain't after fate this race has took away the pure terrestrial demons called they, and men's blessed guard or evil keeps away. So, thus think the race was golden, and not that conceited of gold. So, golden race. It just goes on, and it's all connected with everything we talk about on Flat Earth British. Hieronymus. I thought it was posh. So there's just so much of it. Yeah, I'd love to have a couple of hours to read it all. This is going to be mind blow. So, knock yourselves out, guys. We got to move on. So, first bit is a book concerning guardian angels. Now this one is to do with the North Pole. It's a completely different train of thought, not connected with the first, but in a way I suppose it is. So it's really early text from I-609, a voyage to the Tartarian Ocean. So the true and perfect description of 3 voyages, ages so strange and so wonderful they have never been heard of before. Done and performed 3 years, one after the other, by ships of Holland and Zealand, on the north sides of Norway, Muscovy and Tartaria, towards the kingdoms of Cathia and Qing, Shuin and Discourse, the Straits of Westgate and Nova Zembla, and the country lying under the 80th degrees, which is thought to be Greenland. Now, 1609, thought to be Greenland. Now, if you look into Google Greenland, although they say the Vikings were there, it was early occupied, Bronze Age, etc., etc., the Danes didn't actually call it Greenland until the 1700s, 100 years following this. So who exactly named it Greenland if it's already named Greenland in 1609? I don't really know. And they don't even know if it's there. It's fabled. It's still got a name. I don't think they're talking about Greenland, the Danish one. I think they're talking about a different Greenland, is what I think. So they're going there with treasures, goods, to look for trade in the North Pole. In 1609, I guess warm, whereas never any man had been before, and the cruel bears and other monsters of the sea, okay, and the portable, and the, I'm not sure what that says, portable extreme cold that are found in these places, and how the voyage of the ship has been enclosed in ice, and that there were men forced to build a house in the cold when they departed the country of Nova Zembla, wherein they continued 10 months together and never saw or heard of any man, most great cold and extreme miseries, and how they were saved their lives when they constrained to sail about 350 Dutch miles, which is about 1,000 miles English, in a little boat along the main seas, in most great danger and extreme labour. So they get into some shit, okay? nothing ends up as they thought, and the sun's not where it's supposed to be, so they lose all sorts of tracking, with the astronave and everything else just goes to shit, okay, in the North Sea, in the northern Arctic Ocean. So I timestamped a couple of pages because I can't read all this, it's worse than the last, but it is very, very intriguing, okay. So one thing they do is they go to Nova Zembla, and there's a building there with all stuff as well. So there's buildings already in Nova Zembla. So we're going to get up to page 14, which is here. Okay. Okay. And let's find out what it says. On 14, the sun is not where it's supposed to be. Now, what they do give you is it's like a sea log, so it's a load of really mundane azimuth readings and green readings, etc., endlessly, okay. But in the beginning, they can't reconcile. In the end, they just give up telling you this is not supposed to be how it's supposed to be, okay. So anyway, we'll start here. So they do get warmer as well. So I was reading this late last night. Excuse me. And now it looks completely different. So, first point undertaken in 1594. There were 4 ships. Okay, from the provinces of Amsterdam and Zealand. From other ports too. The North Sea's kingdoms of Carthia and China, northwestern Norway, to Muscovy and Tartaria. Okay. And they left from Taxel, one of those islands I talked about on the North Sea some time ago. My last post, actually. So, I'll give you an example. So, from Wednesday, the same day, they sailed northeast 5 miles till the sun was in a full south. Okay, so behind them. Hunting the north wind, okay, and shoaler sails were once again cast out the lead. So they took 100 fathom deep ground sounding at noon. So they do regular soundings, okay, to find out the depth, and so they don't run aground. Till the sun was northwest and casting out their lead, and had ground of 120 fathoms. So as I said, it does get a little bit boring, but you get to one part, loads of parts actually, but they give up later, where the sun is not where it's supposed to be. And in page 16 it talks about it being warm. So, excuse me, please be patient. There you are. So, they're in Nova Zembla and they take another reading. Okay, so it is 4.5 miles, 6 degrees more southerly from the south and the north side of Nova Zembla, that big peninsula, of the line where the sun on both sides between both tropics under the 23rd degrees and a half, it is as hot. Okay, they talk about it quite a bit. They go further north and there's no sea. The sea is around Nova Zembla, there's no sea further north, and the temperature picks up. As it is, anyway, excuse me, as it is right under the line. What wonder then should be it that about the North Pole also has many degrees on both sides, and is said to be colder than right under the pole. I will not affirm this to be true, because the cold on both sides of the North Pole has been yet to be discovered and sought out, as the heat on the north and south side little have seen duly thus much. I will say that although I had hot our direction preceded course to the northeast, there is, excuse me, some to be waged. So basically, he's disagreeing whether there's ice, and he's saying it's getting warmer. And they talk about the readings of the sun. The sun is not where it's supposed to be. So, excuse me, from not the sea, I'm not sure what that is, until the pole, the ice about the land, yet let there be hindered they lay before. Excuse me, that's terrible. Excuse me for that. But anyway, it gets on a bit further and they can't reconcile the sun's position, as I said. But highly interesting stuff. 16 deals with it going warm again, and the sun in wrong location again. Okay, which they can't seem to reconcile. If somebody wants to take the time to work all these readings out on an azimuth or equidistant, you might be able to, you know, reconcile this guy's problem, because that's what it is. Okay, so 1906, they're saying that there's no ice in the North Pole. They're going up there to do some dealings, and they're saying that it gets a lot warmer, and the sun's not where it's supposed to be in any of their readings. Okay, at all, and it's warmer. What's going on, guys? Well, we know, don't we? So anyway, it's too much of it to read. It goes into the declination again, and constant anomalies with their readings. Okay, guys, highly interesting that they're taking goods all our way up north to do dealings with some lands, and they don't know any. You know, the ancients, they say they don't even know that they're there. So that's my second subject. Is Greenland. Let's have like an old picture, an old map of Greenland. Oh, have I got one up? Oh, we'll have a look on images of the day. I got one there. Okay, so yeah, they call it Greenland. It's not Greenland. I think they're looking at the Hyperborean. I think they're going to do deals. There's not too many pages in the book, but as you can see, it's all dealing with speeds, directions. A lot to be learned for a flat earther is looking into this subject. I think it's gold. Getting hotter. Second ship. So it's 3 voyages, okay, guys? Next subject of Antiquity we're dealing with is this. I posted about 2 years ago. I got it out of the Nuremberger. It deals with a fireworks display, what looks like some sort of electricity being used, but mostly guys with electric swords. You may or may not have seen this. It's been around quite some time. There's a lot of different things going on, but you see these chaps here with electric swords and all sorts of anomalies on these model castles, normal fireworks going off as well, and a massive crowd watching it all go down. Okay, guys, I'll show you a close up. So whatever this thing is, it's not a Catherine wheel, it's to do with this, okay, because it's all emanating off of it. I think I know what this is. I'll show you now. And they're like zzz, 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 and when they hit one another, it's zzz, electric swords. And there's all sorts of freaky shit going on. He has something electric as well, whatever he is, and that as well could be a Catherine wheel, admittedly, but we just seen him with electric swords, so that could be something else. And here as well, okay, in the Nuremberger event, so everybody's watching. Electric swords, you know, cannons going off, illuminations, and it's all around this central device. Excuse me. You just see underneath me, okay, which is illuminated again, and it's all like the swords are coming off that sort of thing. See these coils? Yeah, see that coil? So everything's to do with this central column. It's all connected, especially electricity. Zzz, zzz. It's not fireworks because they got swords and they're sparking, you can see. Okay, and these two here. Zzz, zzz. See them? You know me? Zzz, zzz. So they're using these in the modern day. I'll show you now. I think that's it on them, yeah. Nothing new under the sun. Somebody passed me this, pretty fantastic. 2 men, 2 Tesla coils, special suits, and they use electric swords. So exactly the same as what we just witnessed, pretty much the same part of the world. And they do super fantastic stuff with electricity. Let's have a little look. I'll link this up. And electric swordage. Here we go. But it's the same, isn't it? It's the same effect as you see. And them towers could have been them towers you're just seeing. You have to be in the vicinity. Special suits, which they look like they definitely had. Padded suits compared to everyone else. You see? And they're the only ones wearing these suits. See, they're like padded suits. Or on this central column. Okay? And there's only these fellas here. These people, they're not dressed the same. Just them, like protected in like Faraday suits or have you. So trippy. Oh, I'd love to have a go at that. They haven't really got swords, they don't even need them then, do they? I think we move on a bit, we get something going. So let's have a look. Yeah, there. So you got like a thing like that guy got. Wow, Voyages, check it out. Whoa, fucking love it. Oh, I'd love to see that. Wow. That is such fun. I bet they got trippy music on. So, who's going to win? It's battered. The red one's battered. The blue one won. The blue one won. That might mean something. Oh, he came back. The red came back. Isn't it weird how it looks like nerve endings? Exactly like nerve endings. Or tree roots. Like lightning. It's the fractal nature of it. Oh. Okay, I'll link that up. That's super fantastic. I'm very happy with that. So yeah, it's evidence that that could indeed be the case, because they're doing exactly the same thing in the modern day, no doubt about it. Okay, nothing new under the sun. Electricity being used in the far off past. Moving on. Mappage. No, I got some collections. There's loads I link up from a website, which I'm going to show you shortly, right? But I've, you know, the controllers are taking a piss out of us, but no two maps. You know, like you've got maps for this exact era where, you know, many of you know you've got Island, California, etc. And then you get the later ones. They managed to do the entire interior of South America when it's a dense jungle, by all accounts. Yeah, they can't do the interior of America and that include Great Lakes or anything. It's just all very, very weird. Let's have a little look at this one. Excuse me. Let's have a little mag up. So, I don't know what we got for the north. Iceland is right next to a very populated Greenland. I mean, right next. You get this in exactly the same as that book as well. America Sep. What's that? Tentaronialis. So, East Coast, all of Mexicana, they called, is populated. All up Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, the Arcadians. And then St. Lawrence comes to absolutely fucking nowhere. We're missing some Great Lakes. And what's this with Oregon? It don't go like that from California straight up, does it? All the way to where? It's Alaska. Well, let's have a look down south, see if there's anything going on. No, not in this one, but in another one maybe. So they do the interior, but they can't get America right. What about the panhandle? It's non-existent. It's just like a fucking chunk. It's like India, little India. It's weird, isn't it? So definite map changes. Phoenicians. Let's have a look at another one. So there's collections here. You can literally get like hundreds and hundreds of ancient maps with this. I'm going to give you now. Okay. Oh, you have to do it this way. Okay. Vedos. Excuse me. If you're in chat now, guys, please share this video out and like and whatever else. Support this channel. That's a good one. Considering I have to do this full time. Just don't mind one bit. Fucking love it. So it's just going to be books. Anyway, let's read the builds. So let's have a look at some pictures for a bit. I've saved some on my pictures of knights. Okay, so thinking on knights in that electric sword mentality, would these have any electromagnetic defense properties? I've been examining them and I'm thinking, this got absolutely fuck all to do with swords and stuff on a battlefield. Yeah, you get off your horse if you got off there. The weight, alright, you can move a bit. Try chainmail on a bit. You can move. There's a bit of movability. But how's he seeing, guys? You see him through that, is he? He's dead man. And why the need for all of that? Huh? So, lance? You know, where's the end then? Could be, but you'll see some of them get, you know, you're going to go onto a battlefield, right? You've got cannon blazing, etc., fires around and all, and you're going to go in with feathers on your head, ethers, and a crown, and you see through a little slit. Yeah? How'd you crap? Yeah, these must be full, because I'm not being funny, it must be pretty scary on some Middle Ages battlefield, yeah? When you've got 100,000 fucking arrows coming down at you, you're like, oh, aren't you? So, what's happening? And this guy, he's got little things to protect his legs. His feet ain't very well protected, maybe. But he's got like a fucking little tutu on or something. How's he seeing? Well, he's not, is he? Chainmail underneath. EM protection. Chainmail, if you Google it now, you can buy chainmail, which is electromagnetic protection. So why has he got all the feathers? How is he seeing? He's not scary. I'd piss myself laughing. He's got a fucking tutu on for a start off with a load of Phoenicians on it. And very robotic. We don't get to see who's in there, obviously, because they got little tiny visors. This guy, you're led to believe, is going to have a full-on sword fence. His life depends on it. With another guy, possibly with the same shit on, looking through tiny little holes. He'd be like just swinging a sword randomly, if you could lift it up in your armour, that is. Yeah. No. Something else going on. You see where the horse is. They're protecting this. Got some cloth. Could be electromagnetic cloth. We've talked about purple having electromagnetic protective properties or conductive properties at least. Another thing there with the feathers, ethers, and all of this guarding the horse. They really care about the horse that much, probably. But swords and arrows. It's only Shakespeare that tells us that. And that's the social engineering fucking guidebook for their bullshit narratives for the past. They even tell you in the fucking Shakespeare's that all the world's play, stage, etc., all of it. But it's all, you know, in your face doopers, isn't it? So what's this? Funky nights. Funky nights. Oh. So check all this out. Is this decoration? If it is, it's absolutely beautiful. Check this out. It's got the same thing going on with the crazy feather thing. Wow. and our beautiful decoration for Portuguese. These are Portuguese, these pictures. That's actually Temple of Minerva. I think it's in Lisbon. And the clock, what's it saying and what is it? There's another one there gone. So we'll come back to some images later, guys. Okay, I got these for you a bit later as well. They slipped in a little bit early. And here's a collection for all of these atlases. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of ancient atlases. And they're all very, very juicy. Okay. I'm not glitching up. Anyway. That's slowing me up. Anyway. Collection of books for you all. We're moving on. And also here, these are absolutely stunning. Check these out, guys. Right, John Carter's book collection. And you get so many. You got the Americas. I've done this one. Narrative of phenomena in the sky. Okay, crazy things in the sky in the Middle Ages, latter Middle Ages. So the Americas, the Jesuits, Society of Christ, Mundus Novus, Lexicon, is that Archon? Is that the Archons? Archnohistoria, Theatre, Christopher Helvinus. It's got a name with Hal in his name. So look at this. No, not that one. This one. I think I've seen this one before. Dealing with oh yeah, the first happened near Riga, seaport in town of Lavinia, which is, you know, Latvia now. Where a multitude of people had seen in an open sky a coffin, fiery rods, and 3 dead heads, a serpent, and a pyramid. The second in Kreisberg, 4 German miles from the city of Elbing, 10 German miles from Danzig, where on the 6th and 7th of May a phenomena stood for 48 hours with vermin, lightning and thunderclaps. So something stood in the sky for 48 hours giving off thunderclaps and lightning. In 1762, this depiction. So atmospheric phenomena, which sounds like UFOs basically, but it's not. It's them. It's Phoenician fucking tech. So plague. Oh, come, O Lord, with the day of judgment and redeem us. Help us in our necessity, and plague deliver us from evil. Help us in our affliction, and give us that He has given us in this grievous time. So I'm guessing that is a bit of a comet has brought plagueage. So it's all mind blowing. I'm sick of reading Old English. So this got passed to me this morning. I thought it was incredibly interesting. It's the chronology of 1,000 years. So what you get is Solvedia Solurium, or a natural history of 10 centuries, written by the Right Honourable Francis, Viscount of Alban, and it deals with, you can link all of these up, an alternative history, okay, of 1,000 years over, 2,000 years since birth of Christ, etc. Okay, and this is another, just giving you a load of stuff because it's a think tank. And these are masses of photograph collections of Paris and expositions, like this one here, which will give you pristine HD photographs, which we're going to go through some in a minute, of the Paris exposition. Okay, they are beautiful, but we're going to go through in a minute. No, this is not going to be a dramatically long video. Rip Van Winkle. This is an old film from 1890s, and it's a film Rip Van Winkle. So what's the score with this dude is he's like been asleep and he's woke up and it's a different age. Different age. Well, 1902 this one. Forgive me. Check this out. So Rip Van Winkle gets pissed in the old age, passes out. Okay, so there he is. He's nodded off. Oh no, there he is. He's pissed. He's gone up to Rip. He found Rip. Okay. Rip and the dwarf. Carry that up there for him. Okay. He's got a happy hat on because he's a dwarf and looks like a wizard. Rip leaving Sleepy Hollow. Oh, the elves. Dwarfs. Excuse me. Elves on the brain. L. We're all elves. Well, not all. So what happens next? Rip's toast to Hudson and crew. There's a lot of pissing up going on here, isn't there? So Hudson's like... crew. Rip, 20 years sleep. Alright, he sleeps 20 years. He gets drunk with a load of... dwarfs. And so sleeping. What? An awakening of Rip. Oh, fuck me. He didn't age well, did he? I'm guessing he's not a Bavarian. Wow. I find it nearly impossible to eat meat of late. I have, amazing. I'm not deliberately being a vegetarian. It's just find it disgusting of late. I can't even look at it. I don't even know what it is. It's weird. Other people feel the same. Just don't feel it. Oh well, that was shit. There's Greenland. Let's have a look at Greenland. So yeah, there's an old map of Greenland. So they're calling it in 1609 Greenland. Sorry to juggle back and forth subjects, but this should have gone further down. And if it's connected by that tiny bit of land to separate it into the, two land masses by what, a couple of miles. Does that make sense? And all of this is supposed to be under a thick ice cap now, but in this day and age, it's got titles like Discord, Cape Discord, Staten Hawk, Leon. What else have we got? Delftshaven, what's in Dutch names. It's got very, very, very populated, and Iceland is that close, is it? You could just catch a little boat across to Greenland up here. Is that what's going on? Let's try and read this. It is said that these straits were formerly passable, but whatever that is, Omgarini Firth. So it's said that they were passable. Isn't that intriguing? Anyway, sorry. Moving on. Images. So somebody passed me these concerning bandstands, and I've taken photographs before. There's one in my local park, every local park in Britain actually, and they got these things. So why have bandstands all got antiquity? Were they more in the last reset, as were most of these things. So somebody this morning, thank you very, very much everybody, big universal thank you for everyone who sent me shit. But this was found, he selected these. So this guy, it was found at the bottom of the sea off of Italy, in I believe Straits of between Sicily and Italy, and he had a missing pair of spears. So he had a pair of spears, and they brought him up from there, Rio Cabria, in Straits of Messina, which has taken some changes. So they had a giant civilization, this whatever, huge, looks Mesopotamian, beard, looks, yeah, he's off Italy, huge bronze. So my son was telling me, because my son's doing a competition on his Welsh Dragon Metals alchemy metallurgy site, and he was on about tin, and all of the tin mines that the tin was needed to make all the bronze in the ancient world came out of Cornwall, but apparently not so, because they found a load of tin mines in Israel as well. So Israel now, or then, was Phoenicia, so Phoenicia had tin mines. My son is very handy for some information. 1850s, London was underwater. It is terribly prone to flooding, so I mentioned on my last vlogage. And then he made this. I've actually steered a ship through here, going to Lovell's Wharf up by here in Greenwich. This is Woolwich, and you've got the Isle of Dogs and everything up here in the Dagenham. And when this fills up, the giant wall, hope it don't go over, all of this is prone to be flooded. You do the same thing in Holland. So, excuse me. Okay, then next. Watches. So, bulwark against disaster, the River Thames. Like Legionnaires challenge Neptune, crowded cowled piers linking movable gates take the shape 8 miles downstream from London at Woolwich. Now completed, this engineering colossus may forestall such floods that was recalled by the 1850s magazine. So this sure. Experts estimate similar inundation today could cost billions of dollars in damage. The barrier is specifically designed to protect London from devastating surge tides. The phenomenon occurs when low pressure system drags a mound of water from the Atlantic into the North Sea and adds it to an already high seasonal tide. The long-term danger is compounded by rising ocean levels and sinking southeast England. So London, if it weren't for that, Cardiff's got a barrage too, would be in great danger of flooding. So Alex Automagic, it was kindness of his heart, sent a load of FE watches, which we are going to have competitions with. Okay, I can't think of anything right now because, you know, I just me, don't worry. Anyway. So, I talk about circuit board cities and ancient grids of cities being basically like a motherboard of a computer, and all of it being a great integrated system. This is a motherboard of a computer, okay? And here is a site KMT in Egypt. And as you can see, they're more or less identical. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting, but I've seen a few of them. Oh, see, I'm not going to read all of these, but screenshot myself, and it's dealing, some people sent these to me too, with them and this. Okay, the law that government the earth room, the world of a contract, maritime admiralty law. Why would we need the law of the sea on the land? Because it's the Phoenicians. The Lord of the Sea, Black's Law Dictionary, all humans being are born, birthed down the canal, free and equal in dignity and rights, and free will to choose between different possible courses of action unimpeded. Right. Human rights, our right to have free will, is by binding agreement and legal contract with the governor of the earth room, the Pope. The first trust of the world, animum sanctum, the legal ownership of all souls in the Vatican from 1306. So it goes deeper than that, guys. It goes much, much deeper than that. The selling of your registration to the stock exchange. Here it is. Your birth certificate. Now you have to, when you're up until 6 weeks old, your parents have to register you at the registration office, and if you're not, if you don't go, you're going to be lost at sea. So how a ship vessel in a port, so we got berthing, is the action of a ship coming into berth at a port, delivering a cargo to a dock. So a certificate of cargo which has manifested itself. So you have certificate of origin, and you have the birth certificate, which is a pretty much identical scenario. So, and they share, and it's the Phoenicians, everything is on maritime law. The earth room, giving birth, the action of a mother giving birth by delivering a baby to the doctor through the birth canal of water. The baby has manifested itself out of water, water world as above, so below. I could go on. So let's give you all a few shouts, and I'm going to do some images, and I'm going to have a bit of music, okay, because I can't have miraculously long videos all the time. Please share out, guys. I'll summarise in a minute whatever I've been talking about. I've not watched Lee's Vanna vlog, so if you don't know, I got one of my old channels back, and it's Flat Earth British think tank. Okay, I've got another channel too. I'll show you here. Martin Liedtke, which I have not used. There's only 3 videos on it, and Flat Earth British think tank. It's got 6,500 subs, and Lee has been posting Justin Pawlak, who's a very, very talented musician, and Lee's like really, really exciting, so he just does endless amounts of his videos. But Justin has juice, nectar galore. Should we take a look? And I'll tell you what else. John Levy on his second channel did a killer little video. I loved it this morning. You can see John Levy. Lee, I can't stand me on thumbnails, mate. You know this. Fuck. You know I don't like all that. Anyway, so let me mute my mic for a minute, and we're going to look at that, because that seems to be my problem. Okay, peace and love. Picking up like a rock. Pretty strange when you see the pictures of the move. If I put the microphone back on. So that's Justin. Lee basically went potty yesterday, posted all his stuff, and I don't blame him one bit. The guy's got loads and loads of talent, and he's brilliant every does really, and he's a massive help to thought processes happening here. So yeah, he plays unbelievable music on them Chinese things. I love that. So yeah, my book, our book, is The Holy Grail of Our Flat Earth. Okay, and you can get it on here. This is the publisher's website concerning said book, and you also get it on Flat Earth British website, which is fantastic website. Excuse me. So something new on here all the time. So this is under construction, and we've got a video, basically the think tank photo drop, which has been pinging today, so I guess people will be posting, and you can get a digital copy and the paperback there on the website. So I have got an Instagram. I've got two now apparently. Yeah, it's Terry Farming, Tell, who does like stuff, and he's got like Antiquity and Flat Earth British or Liedtke. I'm on Instagram as well. I've added a load of you as well, people I recognise, because there's quite a few of you. Okay. Back's itching. Where's my back scratcher? Twitter, I'm on all them. Facebook's good. Matt Mattson's on Facebook. I'll link that up as well. There's always loads happening on my Facebook. It's a really busy place to be. And there's the topics we look into. Okay. Shapes looks good. Antiquity, Technasmia, all the usual, and a few more new ones. Fireplaces, Aquatech, art, weather, or never. There. And that's my son's channel. Please give him a sub, take a look. He makes great effort. Support him all I can. Activities, resources. So I've given you a load of resources today to work off. Peeps, if you do find anything, just email martinleaker7@gmail.com. That's all object of think tank. I can't do it all. So there's a load of books on all of these subjects. Okay, the chronology, etc., and a frig load of libraries, and all map sources, which the one I just give you is not even included on there. Miscellaneous, is art, etc., maps, it's cracking stuff, and everyone who is in the community is all linked up there. See? Okay, so that needs to be revised. And shared channels. Now this is regaining the balance. Now Matt, who done a translation on the terrible deluge of the noble city of Rome, has made his own channel, and he's dealing with the chronology. He's doing brilliant, and you can't believe he's going on. He's fucking really good, guys. So please check him out. Check him out. Take a listen. I only posted, shared it yesterday. He's got a few views. I'd sub to him if I were you. This one's going to be worth following, so I'll link that up as well. So that's Matt Ferguson. Excuse me. So we're going to watch that short because it's basically buzzy as fuck. I like to, with stuff, if it buzzes me out, I think yeah, definitely going to be going with that. So we're going to have a look at some pics of the day, guys, for a minute. All of these have been selected for the specific reason they have historical context and something that we can look at and think about and talk about. Okay. Like this. So Moses Van Kampen, right, he dies in what, J849. So why 3 different fonts? Why is Moses completely different to Died, and Died has got this other sort of. And then further down again, it's almost like 3 different types of writing of maybe 3 different ages. It's really strange why they didn't keep it uniformic, and what a strange stone in itself. So let's just look at some stuff from antiquity. This is in Japan. A few of these are, I'm going to show you now. Osaka, and they don't know what it is. It's in a bamboo forest. It's made of stone. Your guess is as good as mine, but it's from antiquity. I would guess water. So I really wouldn't like to guess what was sold in that shop. Okay. But look at this. The way it's tiered over and tiered over. Okay, they would call this, you know, late Tudor house or what have you, but I see too many of them around now. This is an interesting megalith, or what they call megalith. It's in Japan again, and it's shown, they don't really know the score with it, right, but it's to do with water. This here seems to have machining, so this was slotted in somewhere and appears to be levitating over water, which I'll show you now. This is how you keep your children in your past if they get in on your nerves. They didn't have telly. Actually, in that period they might have. Would you do that? Because I was checking it out. This doesn't even look metal. It looks like it's made of wood. Just in your sprog to a little screw there, you just go meow. So each to their own. This is from the Sutton Hoo treasure hoard, the biggest treasure hoard in British history, more or less, out of apparently a king's ship in the Sutton Hoo hoard. I'm saying this is Venetian. It's all serpents intertwined, and it's a style that we're getting to recognise, and it's all pure gold. Also looking into these, which are doors, which look like they're the same carving as you see in Puma Punko on the H blocks, one I've showed you in the week. They're in the sides of hills and they go absolutely nowhere. I was thinking that these might be not just like mud come in and covered an old door, but I'm thinking like something came along and like literally fitted in here and in here. See what I mean now? Like slave ships. This one, believe it or not, is French Foreign Legion, and he's going out to Oz in the late 1800s. So they're still shipping like to, you know, out into the East and America into the 1900s as well. And nobody's looking very fucking happy. Now they used to have slave ships coming here to Cardiff. It was Liverpool, Cardiff, Bristol, for like the main slave ports of the whole of the world, apparently. And they said that they used to come up the channel, and they just basically they were just in piles, and the ones at the bottom would drown in all the poo. So I don't know if that's true. It's just worst thing ever to do to humanity. It's just fucking crazy. But we're all slaves anyway now. It's giving us the illusion that we're not, but everyone is. These are from Madame Tussauds in Baker Street in London, which is a wax museum, and there's supposed to be a fire that happened there. It's a massive Tartarian fucking museum. They're made of wax, but look at the faces, guys. Were these actually people at some stage? Like the film Carry On Screaming. So he knows the score. Space Chimp lives. Yeah, right. He's thinking I was eating fucking bananas. So nice little mud flooded shop. And he's turned it into shoe shop. Fix your shoes, cobblers. Lemonade, soda water, egg and milk, tea. I've always liked that image. So, and there you go again. It's just like there's a temple door. I'm guessing this one might be mud flooded. A bit like Petra. Or it's just the entrance to something going in like a massive complex in the said cliff. So Berlin War, East German soldier, the little kid's like, take me over, I want to go and visit my nana, I haven't seen her in a year. And he's looking down because he gets caught, he's going to get a bullet in the head, probably the kid would too. So he's like, oh, fuck, he's not to be able to say no to this little kid, is he? He's having a quick look and he's going to risk his life getting him over. Aww. Advanced machinery in the past. Is this a screw bit or a giant sort of drill bit that's coming either that way somewhere or that way somewhere in the past? It certainly looks that way. Right. Indian reliefs, and all you see is the same scenario as you do in, I suppose, the Christian world and all of the other faiths. Is you get mermaids here and these happy hats, in this case multi-layered, looks a bit paper, but they're giants. These are normal sized, and Phoenicians and giants. And this is in Japan again, but it's exactly the same carving out as you see in Pumabungo and other sites in South America. So it's, in my mind, it's showing you again, in another reset further back than Tartaria, etc. These, they were building this sort of stuff to do with water, were plain wide. Dead of World War II. Apparently, I suppose, possibly Jews, who knows? This is all lime by the look of it. It eats a body away in no time. So, they had a demise, but I'm sure he's a Russian prisoner, probably helping. I'm sorry it's such a horrendous picture, but I definitely think people did die. Some people died. Take a look at that. Let's have a guess who that lady is. She's pretty. She's Indian. Who is she? It's Mother Teresa. When she was a young girl. Immaculate. So a skeleton that was dug up with this orgonite arrangement. So he's got all gold around his brain. I don't know what that is, but it looks copper. All gold bangles. I don't know what that is. Necklaces. And all these gold ingots or blobs. So he's got a giant gold bell end protector there. So, fuck knows, it's not there anymore then, guy. Don't think that worked out. And, like I said, Sidium maybe. So, things for the afterlife maybe, like the Egyptians thought. Good, he was definitely protecting himself, wasn't he? Ouch. Okay. And what about in these complexes that I just showed you in mountains? This is inside one of them, and all of this feature is inside, and this is what looks like sound technology. It's like when you get a recording studio. Breaks up sound. Maybe something of high decibelage was in there. And to show you the megaliths in the past are complete nonsense. Here's some indigenous peoples, and they tried to move a block, and they had to like enlist everybody in the entire island to come and do it, and they didn't move it far. Everyone got pissed off, broke a nail, and they all went home unhappy. So this is not reality for any of these megaliths you see. Another psyop. This was in the Great Expositions in London, okay, and this is the score. A living frog in a block of coal from John Russell's colony in Cwmtillery, which is in Wales, at the Great Exposition of 1862. So what they're saying is they shipped from the bottom, maybe half a mile down, in a Welsh mountain. They bring up a block of coal, they put it on a train from Cardiff to Paddington, then they traipse it all the way to the Great Exposition, and they put it in there so everyone can see that there's a living frog, because he's still alive. He's been brought up all our way, he's still alive, and he's supposed to be down there in coal. So what could that tell us, guys? Mud, mud, glorious mud. Nothing quite like it for covering them away. Here's Abraham Lincoln, right, in his 30s. Take a look at John Brown. Overlap their faces. I've done it before. This does not look like the later Abraham Lincoln, guys. It just doesn't look like the same man at all. So, mud hut, maybe a peat bog house, who knows? But the score is did they cut away a massive escarpment without it falling away, acropoling it maybe? Which came first, the hut or the hill? But I like that anyway, it looks freaking lovely. And get these all over Russia, they just close them up. Like nice Coptic banding, and you got an arch, over an arch, over an arch. People ask me, when do you think the red bricks come? Well, with these laying down style, I think they're further back. These like Romans use them laying down rather than the bricks you see in London. Like Hampton Court, supposed to be 1500s, Henry VIII's place, and it's in London red brick. So when did Tartaria build all this red brick stuff? I would say before the reset, 1400s, all this red brick stuff. And a lot of it now, like Hampton Court, is from that time, or just after, is from then. So in the late 1920s and 30s, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Baltimore, St. Louis, Philadelphia, Oakland, Boston, Detroit, Seattle and other cities had sprawling electric streetcar lines. And they gathered them all up, like they did in Britain, because we had exactly the same, until General Motors, Standard Oil, Philip Petroleum and Firestone bought up the controlling interest for the national city lines, which owned the railways and shut them down. This would force people to buy cars instead or ride General Motors manufactured buses fueled on Standard Oil and Phillips Petroleum and Firestone tyres. Ka-ching! They did the same in Britain. They made stations, took the roofs off them, made them uncomfortable for you, like freezing cold in the mornings to go to work, vascular restriction going to drop when you get home, all that. When they had in Victorian, you're just lovely, you drinks and roofs and plants and fucking lovely. What about this? Go into under the ground, and there's an old wall. It's ancient. So where's it go? It's intriguing. This one too. This is on the North Sea coast. I'm thinking it's something to do with Doggerland, because there's like the top or an apex for a roof for a building. It's in that same red brick. Okay, but there's a door. It's buried. In fact, the whole thing's buried. Could it be an entrance? There's mud on top, taking you to other lands. So we've always been intrigued about this, but you know, I think that the clouds are blowing maybe magnetism. Maybe these two are magnets, causing some sort of force between them. Who knows? But they're tech. And everything's in a mud-flooded world, and there's an Antiquity building in the background. So giants play music, and they are very, very jolly in this picture. Sorry, it's a bit blurred. Spectral phenomena. Okay, these were in a seance, and then I got this like demony thing showing up, and a little battered skull, but probably projected. So a big, happy, giant lady. Seems very nice. Antiquitech in use. Sonic floor. He's looking up. It's like Dove, which in this period is electricity. Fleur de lis. The whole thing's illuminating. And there's like a laser, beam or lightning thing going up to the ether. So the whole thing is charging up. Not the divine energy of God. And in this picture, it's a Florence in the Middle Ages, absolutely beautiful, and they had a giant screen, which we thought was basically an advertising board, but it's a painting, and it's the size of a cathedral. It's probably a street long. And why on earth would you have a giant picture of some dude sitting around a table and another guy going, what? Yeah, what? Or something. It's like not even got any context. It's shit. So why would they go to all that effort to have a shitty picture? Is that a gasometer? And what about that? So, Florence, the Middle Ages. Oh, there's another. That Paris cannon. There's no way that this is a Phoenician cannon. You're going to get them balls in there and fire them. So, for giants. Star forts being shown with Masonic pillars, and on top of the pillars they have books, and each book has a subject. Sorry, I can't pick them up though, and if I could, I couldn't read them. It's in German, but it gives the star forts a bit of a different context in this picture. Make of it what you will. So somebody sent me that. Thank you very much, anybody who's bought these. Universal big thank you hug, which we call kutches in Wales, or kutch. This is in Peru, Inca. But it's under this greater civilization. A few repairs going on. And under here is a bas relief on the front. And it looks like Coxie Cowl. And these things are all over the steppe. Okay? It's a grassy dome. Door in there. So apparently you just walk in with your camel. And you just... There's one of them and you go in to do a quick prayer. Or a quick jump to another place. The back streets of Victorian London. Same red brick. Same old lanes built on the old Phoenician city of Londinium. Mostly children. Everyone's breeding like rabbits, or they all got delivered. I like this picture, I always have. It's your world. This building has nothing to do with this building. But they're making up nice balustrades, nice railings, good effort. What's she daydreaming about, I wonder? Woman. So this is another ghosty picture. So they're standing there, and in the background behind them, he's not meant to be in the picture, or she. Spooky. Get a lot of them. More spooky pictures, not really. This is Billy the Kid, and he's into paying quoits. Quoits. Really weird. What about this? Oswald in the doorway. So it's JFK's assassination. 1,000 thoughts. This one, JFK's car has 4 doors in this one. I can't ascertain how many people are in it. You've got Woody Harrelson's father in that doorway. You've got Prescott Bush. You've got other people involved in there this day, near this doorway. So Oswald's in the doorway when it all goes down, according to this. Okay, I don't think the picture is too persuasive, but maybe. So 100 yards away, I reckon everyone just shot at him. You know, there's Lyndon Johnson's man over here, there's the Mafias over here, the Cubans over here, everyone's having a shot. There must have been about 30 bullets, or maybe nothing happened at all. 100 years, 100 years more, they would have reached safety of an overpass, and 3 shots rang out. Okay, hang on a minute. So Colony and Kennedy. Okay. Why is this SS officer, Secret Service officer, pissing himself laughing? Kennedy's Secret Service not moving at all when he's had his brains just blown out, and they're looking straight at him. They're looking over at the door. Oh, isn't that weird? Almost as if he'd shouted. So they haven't moved at all. He's pissing himself laughing. You would if the president's had his brains blown up. Maybe he's laughing at her with a chunk in her hand. I don't know. And the end one is Johnson's Secret Service getting out of the car. So Lyndon Johnson mated his fucking guts, by the way, and he's a Texan. You probably thought when you get down to Texas, I'll have you bastard. The Antiquity device, I think it's a psyop, is to say that we had advanced tech, the build out of the Aegean, out of a galley. Yeah, we had all of this advanced tech, and this is because it's the official narrative pushing it, is to bypass. We had much, much more. So I'm guessing these have been under the water sometime, by the way they look. And these were floors, or trusses probably, or putlock holes for trusses for floors coming out this way possibly. But you see a lot of these. I visited one this year with Mel up in Nottingham, inside caves of Nottingham Castle. Don't know about this, but it's all CNI is there. And advanced machinery, machining in Antiquity, some sort of locking mechanism from apparently the megalithic era. And this, what they would call probably, is in Scotland, this by the way, seismic activity or what have you, but in my mind it follows same as a wave form, just like a wave form, like the serpent. So I think this is what happens to the surface during said events, plasma discharge events. So guessing when it could be 10 to 4 in the morning, when the hourglass runs out, deal is done. All opposing Tauruses over the North Star. The key to what? Start that machine? Well, they'll lock. So they're locked together. This deal is done, they're locked together. There's no way out for them, except for that key. So this is in London, and it is an optician's, I'm guessing. Samuel Keenan, wine spirit merchant, Wellingtons. But yeah, got a giant pair of glasses on it, and a mud flooded. Really nice. Oh, let's move on. So these in America, and these look like statues, giant statues. They've got some real amazing right angles as well on them, are they? From a reset further back. Is this what's going on? Look at the size in comparison to Thames there. So we walked up this hill to take a photograph of that. Cool. Pyramids, there are like thousands and thousands of hits if you look at a map. And this one also is under the sea. I'm wondering if they've asked if there's anyone still in there. Almaked's from Central America, and they are not Central Americans, and he has some space age helmet on with a ear thing like a communicator. Plus, he's not indigenous to that place at all, or maybe he was. Who knows? 1880s in America, and this is from an ancient, more older civilization with step pyramid technology, which is born away in America. Also in America, a giant rock. How did it get deposited there? Was it a glacier? Did it fall from the sky? Why is it there? What is it? Giant rock. More giant rocks, which look like seeds. In fact, these could have had some sort of virus, like that wood virus, and they turned into trees. But very much like seeds, but also like faces. Diseased faces. And this is up in a cliff. Why would you want the door? You can't get up there because it's too high. Something was fitted in here, 100%. Just fits in. Like a plug. And then they just walk out of their flying vehicle into this cliff face civilization. This flying vehicle. This one. Really cool picture, that. And the deal being done again between said bad genius and good genius. They both got happy hats. He's a king, Phoenician. Well, the deal's done again. So in Vietnam. You know, Vietnam's one of the only wars you can get action shots. And I don't doubt the horrors that went on there at all. The narrative and what happened is all bullshit. That was the boys getting rid of people like this, both sides. Sorry if it's hard to look at. So I'm guessing that's a Tet offensive. Really easy to get yourself blown up. So there's some American troops on a mortar position. The jungle's just clear. And then there's the Ancient Orange. Orange again, 33. The famous, the Americans napalmed a village in this famous photograph. This little girl with horrendous burns running down the road. Look at the amount of cameraman just filming her, taking photographs. Not like running up and helping her or any fucking thing. Just, photo opportunity. She's alive now. You can see her on YouTube. She's grown up. She's in her 40s or 50s, and she's just beautiful, normal human being. But she talks about it. She said they were wonderfully kind. So a giant sea turtle scanning then. That is massive. Imagine seeing that. Whoa. These are stones. You get them also in Carnac in France, in Western France, and they all seem to appear the same way that iron filings would appear if some sort of magnet had happened or gone near it. And there's a doorway through, but they're all like, like some sort of magnet, a giant magnet has been there, and they've acted like iron filings. I think there's something to do with magnetism, plus stones have magnetism. So there they are again, guys. Electric swords, real thing in modern day. And there's that thing, this could be like some sort of Tesla coil technology. These, or this, it's all attached, and they have sort of suits. So one of the John Lennons comes out of Dakota, the Chapman, fucking bullshit that he is. Okay, he's probably sitting fucking laughing right now. He said, "Can I have your autograph, please?" Okay, with his rubber lips. He said, "Can I have your autograph, please?" And he fucking does that, and he signs it. And not like a day later, or later on that night, he fucking kills him. Nah, man. Wet lips. Don't like him. Killed pretending John Lennon. Here's another one, who is Pablo Escobar and his child outside the White House. They don't think about arresting him at all. Yeah, I got pulled for getting the White House and the Capitol building the wrong way around. Do you smile at the camera before you get in your brains blown out, or is he just nervous, or is it wind? I'm going to kill you. Let me have a quick little smile. Maybe it's just nerves. So if you're Tsar Nicholas of Russia thinks it's a good idea to, well, I think that's Anastasia, to toke it up and give her a cigarette, but it was different tobacco back then, probably. So with the psyop of the Beatles and fall, now because Paul's dead, okay, Paul McCartney, and they replaced him, one of the reasons is that he walks across the crossing on the cover of Abbey Road in a pair of flip-flops. This way. He says in the official narrative, when you ask him or you look on YouTube, he says, oh yes, it was a boiling hot day, I left my flip-flops off this side of the road and we walked across, and I had no shoes on. I thought it'd be a good idea. But he magically goes back to the other side of the road, picks up his flip-flops, runs across the road again to wear them back across the road because he got them on coming back. Yeah, maybe that happened. So, in case you haven't seen the reverse version, Queenie, World War II, was an ambulance driver. Okay, like Queen Elizabeth, supposed to be roughing it, fixing vans and stuff. Oh no. So here's my bloody place. Pioneer tyres. Mothers love a beautiful day. But what's all this? And these are like that. Mud. What about that mud pile? So you get this in Chicago. I watched a brilliant thing about Chicago expositions last night. That's Sutton Hoo Hoard again. It's Phoenician. It's gold. And you can they say that these jewels are from the East and India, yeah, all of them are all from the Middle East. This is in Scotland, and it's half a foot because the other half has fallen into the sea, or the land has fallen. So you can't blow it up, but it's a cover of some sort of book. And what you see is people running like out going, oh no, no, and inside is like a manifestation of Baphomet with Freemasons summing up. So well, let's chuck her into the beasts in the sea's mouth. So somebody getting chucked to a beast. So they can't get any bigger. Some sort of development of the ancient world there in perfect circle. Can't tell you more about it, except this is apparently when, like, you know, they're going to the North Pole. Amundsen's already been there, so Cook, like Captain Scott, in his, you know, amazingness, and he manages to find the exact location of the North Pole, like exactly, and then there's this like giant hill of snow because the Norwegians, like, they just managed to build like a massive thing of snow. Cool. When you get there, and he manages to find it as well. So Amundsen beat us, or beat him. These are cameras that fit to kites that go and photograph cities from above. So they're using kites in Antiquity with cameras on. Camera, bird's eye views. More of these bandstands. Ooh. So what could they have been, guys? To invigorate you? They all got Antiquitech. They were something else in the past. John Levy was, that's one in my local park, in Victoria Park. John Levy was saying about carousels. Maybe they were like, went really, really quick and had like portal technology. Well, I like that. Especially with Joe Knighty. It's exactly the same. So photographers in your world were not only men, but women. Ugh. Sorry. There's that Japanese stone. Seems to be floating. So I'm guessing there's just one little chunk holding it up, but the thing is amazingly big. So is it floating? Is it levitating? Or is there a tiny chunk underneath? It's a big stone. It's got machining. Got a rope round it. An old cemetery which has amazingly bad fucked up graves which seem to have been underwater. Look at this for a picture. This is in America, not a shroppy. You got all this going on. You know, they're Muslim. It's got the Moorish feel, Glasstone. Antiquity. Wow. Okay. As I was to guess, I think this might be Detroit, I'm not actually sure. It's a shroppy image. It's been done, might tell us. It's Springfield, Massachusetts Main Street. Springfield. Electric cable cars, ice cream man. Wow, this place rocks. So, Springfield, Massachusetts. Adolf Hitler, in the First World War, did not have one of those silly little tashes that got predictively programmed years before by Charlie Chaplin. You know, like the silly little man with the silly little moustache, and then miraculously 20 years later there's a world leader with a silly little moustache and he's a silly little man. Eh? Just saying. This is supposed to be the bottom of a Russian mine. Okay, this far down. Okay, found there. I can't verify this, but it's been on the internet. And this was found there, so some sort of wheel. And that far down underground. So you stumbled upon another world from the old mud-flooded world. Covered up. Here they are. What could they be for? They're all over the antique world. This has been mud-flooded. And then dug out. Same thing going on for this temple. It was high up flood protection. It's in Wales. That also seems to be underwater. But two beautiful arches going somewhere. This seems to have been a bloody big wall at some stage. And it's been underwater. This has been hit by a fucking unbelievable amount of heat. So what we got here is some sort of Coptic church. And it's in a mud flooded environment. Okay. This has suffered vitrification and heat. It's a later wall. So I'm thinking something hit it there. Take that slab out. Really big heat. And then probably underwater as well. Yeah. It's really unbelievable shot. And this one is in Peru, I think it is, yeah. Whatever energy is in this stone area, it is in the dimensional depth, has a skewed square that is around Peru Stargate area. So it's like a skewed square. Strange, these, like giant back vertebra or something. And possibly a Stargate. So this little kid is going to listen to the flute like we are now in a minute. This little kitten, yo boy, playing flute. So we're going to do that. Inside this mound is all of that. So a lot of these mounds all over Britain, I've got that stuff inside. It's a person, statue from the old world, yeah, possibly. So this is Cornelius. Robert Cornelius, and he's the first ever selfie in history, and he's got his hand in here. He's got like Napoleonic clothes on. Very curious face. There's that thing in Japan. It's got slits that side as well. But does it float? I wish I knew. Pyramids. People were getting out of the water in the woods. Okay, I could go on. That's Raquel Welch in the Vietnam War. And she's doing that wicked 60s dancing that they do, you know, like that, yeah. So that's pretty epic. Hope no one goes in my comments. This Raquel Welch was a bloke. Prove it. He's fucking stoned on Vietnam weed. Vietnam weed does funny things to your head. So, so it says on Up in Smoke. Strawberry, you know strawberry? No. Don't look at his birthmark. So some Americans. It's not not a hot zone, but they're entrenched and they're ready for some action-y. Having a beer, brewski. We'll go from a certain horde. More of these strange portals. What do you think's happening with them, guys? What about that? What deposited that there? Was it a giant? Glacier? Just in perfect balance. And what's this one? God, I don't know. So this is mud flood evidence from Binnenhof in The Hague in 2017. The upper part of the towers is longer than the lower part. So we did this about a year or two ago, and this is it. You can see now. In 2017, this part is now 100% round, not hexagonal anymore, as it was in 1525. What happened? So we got two separate things happening. Okay, replacements. Other similarities this year. Okay, and there's the line, and I'll show you further along now where is mud flood affected. Okay, so the changes here, these are basically top heavy, and the rest of these are below ground level, that much. So there's the ground level, and we've lost this much of these piers here below ground level. So there's the Binnenhof in The Hague in 1655. The upper part is clearly smaller than the lower part of the tower. Okay, so they've lost that much in mud since. More giants. Right, I think it's time for me to... Oh. It's my rabbit. That's my bunny. He's eating a globe. Let's have a look at my bunny eating a globe. Turn that down. That's Fluffy. Fluffy the bunny. Fluffy the bunny. Didn't like it. It's instinctive. Get that globe. Get that globe. It's a lie. Oh. So that's my bunny. Fluffsky. Okay, that's epic. Okay. And Ernest Hemingway, pissed and doing everyone's head in there. He's like, oh god. But he's like politely smiling. This is funny. You're a famous writer, I'm not going to argue with you. Anyway, coming back as well in this video, you know, and then I'm going to upload this. Probably 2 hours fucking long. I don't even know. Apologise if it is. I got to remember to put the mic back on. Enjoy. Sorry, I'll link that to you. Obviously I can't play 5 minutes of that because I gotta get on. I'm gonna upload this now. So what's this video been about? Genies and spirits. See that? I got fucking bit on my face by a spider. I got a giant spider lives in here somewhere. So we got this symbiosis going on. Only not. I think he's probably in a coma now, stoned at to bite me. Whatever. So therapeutic, because I'm like looking for escapism. Art therapy. Thanks, Dolly. It's a brilliant idea. She does really cool pictures. I thought I'd do geometric pictures. Got like a thing full of felt pens. Pot. What do you think? Yeah, I think I should too. So, well, this vlog has been about that book, by Genies. Look into it, guys. Some of the other chapters are crazy. Excuse me for my pronunciations of Middle English, and that's not easy. Book on Voyage to the Barents Sea, where apparently it gets warmer. The sun's not where it's supposed to be, and you know they're looking for the Hyperborean to go and do deals. Okay. Thoughts about Greenland, and everything else that was in this vlog that I've forgotten about. So, other people are alive. I gotta go. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. All them channels I just showed you, everything will be linked up. Photographs and everything. I got so much to show as well, but I've got no time, guys. I have to show you the next time as well. Okay, I got a couple of other things I wanted to show you. So yeah, share this out and like if you like my videos. Okay, please contribute to the great Flat Earth British think tank. I'll leave my email address and all of the information in the description box of this video. Okay, if you want Patreon or support this channel in any way, that would be appreciated. This is now my occupation. I'll try to be peace and love, be good, not do anything I wouldn't do. Okay?